Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to discuss when it's appropriate to tell somebody to shut up. This is a question I received from a listener, and hey, I'm all for open communication. I'm all for connecting with other people. In fact, I think if you're listening right now and you're living in the Western world, I can pretty much guarantee you that's your issue. Many of your problems, many of what you think is your problem, but really they're symptoms, are solved when you can connect more, hide less, express who you are, communicate better, and in that whole process, manage your emotions and figure out who you are, become ever more self-aware. So open communication, I love it. But part of open communication sometimes means telling somebody to be quiet or stop talking about a certain thing because, to be honest, it's really not that helpful. So when is a situation when it's healthy to tell somebody to be quiet, and when is it maybe less than healthy? Well, to discuss this, let's refer back to something else I talk about. This will help paint a picture, I think, is the difference between impulsivity and spontaneity. Now, on the surface, these seem like two similar psychological states. Well, they look the same. If somebody's being impulsive, they can be a lot of fun, great to be around. If somebody's being spontaneous, they can be a lot of fun and great to be around. But the intention behind it is different, and I think that's why we ultimately have two words for a seemingly similar psychological state, impulsivity or spontaneity. Now, impulsivity is when it seems like you're in the moment and you're acting. How do I define impulsivity without calling it referring to impulsive or spontaneous? Well, it seems like you're being spontaneous, but the intention is to remove yourself from pain. You're in a lot of pain, so a great way to remove yourself from pain is to make it seem like you're in the moment. Really, you're simply acting out. And this will tend to lead, if you are being impulsive, it's not always destructive, but it can tend to lead to impulsive behaviors like theft being one, or pathological dishonesty being another. These are things that we do in the moment and the spur of the moment to get out of ourselves. However, spontaneity, though it may look like impulsivity, sometimes the intention is completely different. We are acting to not avoid pain, but to increase pleasure. And you'll see that people who are more spontaneous than impulsive, their decisions will tend to lead to a healthier life circumstance for them in the long run. And I think that's a great way to think about when it's appropriate to tell somebody to be quiet. Common example is our mom. Our mom may tend to be annoying at times because she loves you too much. Her love may be scary. So here's an example of one mom talking to, let's say, her son, who just decided to, start a company. The mom says something to the effect of, I don't know if you should. 9 out of 10 businesses end up in failure, or end up going under, end up going bankrupt. And look, you have this wife and family to take care of, and no, it's too risky. Maybe we'll just get this position. Now, what is that intention of that mom talking to that son who wants to start a company? Is it to increase pleasure or decrease pain? Now, another concerned mom example would be, you want to start a company? Okay, well, look, here's what's been going on with you is you started 3 companies before, none of them have worked out. So what's going to be different about this company? Do you have a business plan? Look, I want you to be happy. I want you to do exactly what you want to do. But if you're going to do something that may be risky, like starting a business, it's good to have all your ducks in a row, which maybe you didn't have in the past. You have this wife and family to take care of. Now, on the surface, both of those moms may seem to be presenting or seem to be communicating the same idea, but they do it in a totally different way with a completely different intention. Obviously, mom 1, complaining, martyrdom, victimhood. In a sense, she's dumping her anxiety on her son. Mom 2, concerned, but wants to help, wants to improve, wants to not decrease awareness like mom 1 wants to do, like decreasing pain in impulsivity, but mom 2 wants to increase awareness, like increasing pleasure, increasing happiness with spontaneity. The difference here is just context. Are the moms, is somebody offering facts or an evaluation? And I'm all for open communication. I think it's great, but sometimes if you have somebody in your life who may tend to act like mom one and dump their anxiety, maybe dump their hostility on you as a way to decrease awareness as opposed to increase awareness, then I think part of open communication is not letting somebody communicate at all, as paradoxical as that may seem. And I would even urge you, it depends on the situation. I would even urge you to go as far as, so let's say it's the example of the mom and you're the son, and your mom is mom number one. I would even go as far as to say, look, mom, I understand that you're anxious about my business, but whenever you talk about it, or whenever I talk about it around you, here is, in a sense, I mean, even go this far. Who cares? Go as far as to say, this is what I want you to say. This is what I'm going to talk about regarding my business, and this is what I want you to say. This is how I want you to respond. Now that leads to more open communication because it's, in a sense, healthier communication. I mean, look, the big idea here is that there are subtle differences in our psychology, subtle differences between drastically different psychological states, like impulsivity and spontaneity. They may seem the same, but they are completely different. Same thing with mom one and mom two. They may seem the same, but they're completely different. And the only way to really decipher between the healthy and the unhealthy kind of communication is to become aware of your own emotions. Become aware of, for example, when you're being spontaneous versus impulsive, versus, become aware of when you're trying to talk to somebody as a way to dump your anxiety on them, or to help them, to make them more aware, to help them as much as you possibly are able to help them, which unfortunately for every codependent person out there isn't that much. But at least to make that intention, maybe not for their sake, but for yours. But this requires managing your emotions, becoming ever more aware of your emotions, learning how to talk through emotions in a way that makes you not weak, but strong. There's a specific way to do that, not based on my opinion, but based on how your emotions work with your decisions. That's what we work on here at Animus. We do free consultations if you want some help or to be pointed in a healthier direction. animusempire.com/schedule. Thank you. I'll leave it there. And remember to have a healthy communication, to have healthy, open communication with someone in your life. You may need to tell them to shut up.